almost 6:14 now, 3.5 months after the deadly Hill Country floods. Work continues to try to bring closure to those families. Now, 2 victims are still missing, and the search to find them is now focused on Lake Ingram.
And our Prashana Pope is in Ingram as more machinery arrived to be placed there in the water.
There is a lot of heavy equipment that has been brought out here to Lake Ingram. This is where the search will be taking place for the last 2 victims of the July floods.
It's a coordinated effort by multi-state agencies to bring 8-year-old Seal Stewart and 63-year-old Jeff Ramsey home.
But I never envisioned or never dreamed I'd see a barge.
An official with the Texas Division of Emergency Management, which is overseeing this mission, says this is a search operation. Stewart was a camper at Camp Mystic when the floodwaters of the Guadalupe took her on July 4th. Since that time, there have been numerous searches of the Guadalupe River. Back in August, Nimitz Lake was searched. Roger Carter says whatever measures need to be taken to find the 2 missing victims should be taken.
Whatever they got to do to find her or leave no stone unturned.
The actual searching has not started of Lake Ingram just yet. That is expected to happen sometime this week. But happening now, City Council is discussing the possibility of prohibiting any RVs in the flood zone. In Ingram, Prashana Pope, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's take a look outside with live cam here in San Antonio, and we actually have some rain chances to talk about. How about that? It feels like it's been a minute.
Well, I washed my car last night. So
oh, there you go.
That might have helped.
Do it again, especially Thursday evening and Friday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll up our odds then.
Right.
And right now the odds are at about 30 to 40%, and I'm leaning more toward 40%, possibly even higher as we get more information as we near Friday. But it's really Friday afternoon, but especially Friday evening, Friday night, and on into Saturday. Right now the action, northern U.S., parts of the northern plains and into Minnesota and New England as well. That's where we have the disturbances. But swirling over the Pacific, we have this cutoff upper level low, this upper level disturbance with that counterclockwise circulation. And that's going to bring some energy our way and a weak front as well. But we're watching it for the energy. The upper high, big blue H, it breaks down slowly this week. And then that opens the door for this disturbance to drop into North Texas and bring with it showers and storms across Kansas, Oklahoma, and here in the Lone Star State. And I do think there's a decent chance that some of them will be popping up in and around our neck of the woods. That would be later Friday night on into Saturday. But you see all the rainfall potential covering a good chunk of Texas, whereas we haven't had this kind of chance in weeks. Now let's talk about the dew points. They'll be changing. Right now, there's a hint of humidity in the air. We have dew points in the upper 50s, low 60s. So when you have it in the low 60s, yeah, you feel the mugginess. Upper 50s, not bad. Bottom line is it's going to get muggier overnight tonight. Really thick humidity, that tropical mugginess almost by tomorrow morning at sunrise. Then the front to the north of us, that slides through. And by the early afternoon, our humidity is going to plummet, and those dewies drop down into the 50s and even 40s. Hill country, some dewies in the 30s. Now, that's a much drier air. That's the only change, though, with this front. It's not going to bring us a shot at rain or really change our temperatures very much. Now, speaking of temperatures, so far this October, it's on track and on pace to be the hottest on record. Our average temperature this month, 79.6 degrees. Last year was the hottest October at 78.5 degrees. So we'll see what happens here as we round out October over the next couple of weeks. So the average number of 90-degree days this month is 6th. We have far surpassed that. We already have now 16 90-degree days. The most is 19. So the record amount of 90-degree days in October is 19. We just need a few more. We could get there. It'll be close. It's going to be a close call. We could do it. We may end one day shy of that record. Ah, shucks, right? I know. 92 right now, dew point of 58. So not overly muggy at the airport and a light southerly breeze. Tomorrow you will notice the wind pick up with that front moving through in the morning. So that north wind slowly pushing in some drier air. Bernie 88 now along with Bulverde. Stinson Airport on the south side, 93. Port SA on the west side at 94. Floresville, 93. Temperatures falling off nicely, though. By 8 o'clock, we're 84. 10 o'clock, we're at 80 degrees. Midnight, 77. And tomorrow morning at sunrise, 70 degrees. So muggy. That's way above average for this time of year. We should be closer to 60 for our morning low temperature, and we'll be right near 70, then 82 at noon, 88 the high temperature. Notice that wind tomorrow, about 15 miles per hour out of the north-northeast. So noticeable breeze with that weak cool front that's moving in. Rio Medina tomorrow 89, along with Seguin, Nixon, Smiley 90. Will be about 88, I think, in town. It depends how long some clouds want to linger and stick around. By Wednesday morning, we're down to 63, so that's a little bit better. There is the slightest chance we could dip into the upper 50s on Wednesday morning. Right now, I don't think it's likely, but we'll talk about the significance of that coming up next half hour.
All right, that would
Another potential record.
feel so
goodness.
good. All right, thanks, Adam.
All right, so could the Friday night football get a little wet, Larry Ramirez?
You know, I could deal with the rain.
Yeah?
It's just the lightning. Keep
Yeah,
that
you
away,
don't want
Caskey,
that.
please. Rain is A-OK. Hey, it's week 9. We're talking our game of the week Friday night, which will feature New Braunfels at Smithson Valley in a 13 5A1 matchup. We're going to hear from both sides coming up after the break.
Hi, Don. How are you?
Wednesday on the news at 6.
3 years since I first met you?
Yeah.
What has changed in 3 years?
A story about making the most out of a second chance.
I know for a fact people could change. You know what I'm saying? Looking at change, right, Joe?
I've seen it. I've seen people change their lives.
From decades in prison to a national honor, it's a KSAT follow-up, 3 years in the making.
What's it mean to you to be able to say all of that?
I want to help guys that was like me.
It's Wednesday on the news at 6.
It was kind of just an eye-opener that we're not invincible.
The New Braunfels Unicorns say they got a wake-up call in big board sports. Our game of the week Friday night will see the New Braunfels Unicorns at the Smithson Valley Rangers at 7 p.m. The Rangers are 6-1 this season and 4-0 in District 13 5A1. The only team still undefeated in district play. They've won 5 in a row and they're getting ready for another tough district matchup. They're facing an unhappy Unicorns team that dropped the game Friday they felt they should have won. The Rangers prepare for every game the same way. They want to go 1-0 this week against a hungry team also looking to go 1-0 this week.
Well, they're going to bring it. They're going to bring their A game for us. We expect nothing less. It's going to be good. We always, week by week, play by play, one game at a time.
A team like that coming off a loss, is that kind of dangerous that, you know, they want to get that taste out of their mouth as fast as they can?
You know, they do, but we're just going to come at it like we do every other game. Just treat it the same, prepare the same, just play Friday.
You know, you can't dwell on a loss too much, and I'm sure they're not. Obviously, that was a game they had a great chance to win, just didn't. You know, we've all been there.
Yes, indeed, a lot of football teams have been there, Coach. New Braunfels is coming off a tough 28-24 home loss to Piper. The Unicorns had a 17-point lead, only to see the Warriors come back to win, and now handing New Braunfels its first loss of the season, dropping them to 6-1 overall and 3-1 in district. Now they'll try to rebound against the Rangers.
Smithson Valley is a great team. They've been a great team for as long as I can remember being a small kid and growing up my dad playing them. But I think if we just keep our heads straight this week and do our assignment, I think it'll be a great game.
Just got to make sure to execute in the first and second half. We started off fast in the first half against Piper, but we had a slow second half, so we got to make sure that we execute and just get a lot of preparation this week.
If you don't play all 4 quarters and finish, things like that happen. So we've already flushed it and we've moved on. We got a huge task at hand with the defending state champs this week, so all our focus is on them.
New Braunfels at Smithson Valley Friday night at 7 is our game of the week and another key District 13 5A1 matchup. Time now for 12's top 12 for Class 6A Week 9. Taft is number 12. Reagan is up to number 11. Sotomayor is still number 10. Warren is coming off a bye. They're number 9. Canyon is 8. Medina Valley is holding strong at number 7. Clark is down to 6 after their first loss of the season. Brandeis is up to 5 after beating Clark. Johnson is number 4. They're 7-0. Britton is number 3. They're 6-1. Harlan is 7-0. Number 2. 2, and the Steel Knights are still number 1. Checking in on Class 5A now for Week 9. Lanier is number 12. Sam Houston is in this week at number 11 thanks to their perfect district record. Champion is number 10. Tivy sits at number 9. John Jay is 8. Piper is up to number 7. Southwest is number 6, and they're 6-1. Southwest Legacy is now number 5 after winning the Fire and Armor Bowl. New Braunfels is down to number 4. Alamo Heights is 3. They're 7-1. Bernie is now number 2, and the Smithson Valley Rangers are the new number 1 team in Class 5A at 6-1. In Sub 5A, Karn City is new this week at number 12. Stockdale is number 11. Those two will face off this week. Marion is back in. They're number 10. The Kennedy Lions are number 9. Blanco is 8. Canyon Lake is 7. Somerset is 5-2. They're number 6. Hondo is number 5. Undefeated Bandera is 4. Poth is 3. Lavernia is still number 2. And 8-0 Davenport remains number 1. Davenport is certainly looking tough.
It's impressive.
Yeah, a lot of changes.
Yeah, our exciting time of the year coming as well. So
yes,
very good, Larry. Okay.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay.
All right, coming up next, what happened with that Amazon web outage today? What is going on? Yeah. We'll talk about it after the break. Well, from Facebook to Fortnite and countless apps in between, all were pretty much unusable today because of an outage with Amazon Web Services.
So many of us felt lost, but AWS is a cloud computing provider that hosts many of the world's most used online services. Now, this is not the first outage like this, and it probably won't be the last.
Yeah, so Michael Yoshida joining us now live to talk about the impact of this outage today, what's being done to fix it. Michael, thanks for joining us and being here to explain all of this. And first question I think a lot of us were asking today is, how are so many things in our lives impacted by a problem with one web service?
Hey there, Myra and Ernie. Yeah, that's a question many of us were probably asking ourselves as we dealt with this internet outage. More than 1,000 internet sites and services affected, millions of users impacted, and it all traced back to Amazon Web Services, or AWS. So what is that? Well, it's this internet-based cloud service that hosts some of the most used online services, helping companies connect with customers and people through platforms and apps and such. So why was it such a problem today? Well, that's because it really sits in the middle of everything. So many companies, as the internet has become more popular, instead of building up their own infrastructure, their own web services, their own cloud-based services, they found it much more affordable and easier to just let Amazon do all that heavy lifting, and then they basically can rent it from them. So it sounds great until a day like today when Amazon has an issue, and then it impacts companies across all these different industries. Take a look. You can see some of them up on the screen. We're talking banking apps, social media, media from Disney Plus to Hulu, Delta, United Airlines, all impacted. And this really, according to one tech expert we spoke with, shows kind of the problems with consolidation of these cloud services to just a few companies. AWS had a little under 40% of the market share for this back in 2024. So again, on a day like today, when you have an issue with one and so many different companies rely on that one, where you're going to have a cascading of issues for so many companies across the United States, but also across the world.
Yeah, so Michael, we mentioned this is not the first time that something like this has happened. So what happened the last time there was a similar global internet services outage?
Yeah, people might remember back to last year and some talk about CrowdStrike. That caused a whole host of issues with airlines, again, cancellations, delays, also hospitals having issues with their scheduling and appointments, and also some companies just unable to function because they couldn't get into their internal software because of the outage with CrowdStrike. So again, headaches there, similar to today, but also big financial impacts when we have these. The reporting was that some more than $5 billion in direct losses to Fortune 500 companies as a result of that outage. Already we're hearing estimates about today's outage being in the billions of dollars as a result of lost productivity. Some people maybe not being able to make payments through online systems. So again, a whole host of headaches in our day-to-day lives, but also some pretty big financial impacts too.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Yoshida joining us live to explain this latest round of headaches. Michael, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, more to come here. A new edition of Connect with the Council is coming up right after the break. I'm visiting District 7 today. We'll have that in just a little bit. Welcome back. So this week on Connect with the Council, I had a chance to go to Woodlawn Lake Park in District 7 to sit down with Councilwoman Marina Alderete Gavito. The St. Mary's grad is in her second term and juggles her duties at City Hall with raising her 2 young daughters. Gavito is right at home being at the park. She is an outdoors enthusiast and is constantly on the move. So running is your escape?
Yes, running, like physical running. Yes, I do run a lot.
Running for office and running, physically running. What is it about that high that I've heard about it? I've never experienced it, but in this line of work, I mean, that's what you use to kind of just unwind. And
that's right. Yeah, I'm oftentimes running around Woodlawn Lake right behind me, and it's it just allows that a little bit of quiet time where you're connecting the dots, processing what was happening, in meetings or conversations, and also coming up with new ideas, and so I love that time to myself to just process and think through things.
You're in your second term. Mm-hmm. You left, a pretty good corporate situation. I know you were at USA and Rackspace, and you were in the tech space and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you could have done that for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
Had a comfortable living, but what was it about public service and city council where you're not getting rich?
Yeah.
And it's a thankless job sometimes, and you're working countless hours. What was it about all of that reeled you in?
Yeah, I think when you have the bug to serve residents and to serve your community, you put yourself out there. It's definitely not easy. Yes, it was nice in corporate America. Corporate America had a lot of great perks, but I also feel so much purpose in being able to solve problems for residents, to work with my team to get things done for our community, and that feels wonderful.
So I know you have 2 girls. I wonder what role, if any, they played in your decision to do this, because it takes you away from them a lot of times, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it plays a massive role in my decision to run for public office. Obviously, it's difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because of the time constraints and campaigning, but they are my why. I definitely want to leave the city better for them and for their future. But also, too, one of the things that I talked about with our previous mayor, Mayor Ron Nierenberg, is he would see me taking my girls to everything, whether it's a neighborhood meeting or at City Hall. And we had a conversation one time, and he said, don't stop doing that. Just take them with you everywhere. Also, too, I think residents don't mind seeing me be a mom.
Makes you more relatable, doesn't it?
Yeah. There are times we had our utilities town hall, and my littlest one comes and crawls in my lap, and we just have to go with it. So it's awesome.
If one of your daughters years from now said she wanted to run for city council, would you be all in, or would you be like,
I'd be her best block walker. Yeah. I would be all in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, too, one of the things that I love about this position is the conversations that we get to have, that I get to have with my daughters. For instance, one time they were with me at an event that District 7 helped sponsor for grandparents raising grandkids, right?
Yeah.
And we were supplying the backpacks. So they're asking me, why are grandparents raising grandkids, right? And so it allows us to get into those deeper conversations about how a lot of people live in San Antonio.
I love that. I love these Connect with the Council stories. We hear them talk about issues and their stances on things, but this is on a personal level.
I really enjoyed doing it, and I appreciate them sitting down with me for these things. And Woodlawn Lake, I had been to the lake, but I hadn't sat at the park like that. It's very scenic and picturesque out there.
We've had plenty of sunny days to enjoy it, but we have some rain chances to talk about. Adam Caskey will give us all the details after the break. All right, trick-or-treaters beware, or perhaps the people handing out the candy. Prices this Halloween might be scarier than any vampires or ghosts. So here is Japhanie Gray with some easy ways you can save this spooky season.
Consumers are in for a scare this Halloween, with prices still near their peak. Shopping experts say that we can expect to see fewer seasonal treats overall this year, as well as shrinkflation, smaller quantities for the same price. According to Wells Fargo, cocoa prices have more than doubled since early 2024, and the frightening trend is hitting stores just in time for Halloween. So how can you save money?
Candy is a little tricky this year because we do have a cocoa shortage, and so we're seeing higher prices in chocolate. If you have a wholesale club membership, buy in bulk or buy the bigger size. If you're at your local grocery store or big box store, that's a great way to save significantly.
If you can, make your purchases closer to October 31st.
The longer you wait, the better you're going to do on price, because retailers will be looking to clear that merchandise out. Anything holiday themed, specifically for Halloween, they're going to be wanting to move that merchandise.
Consider a secondhand costume.
If you go to your local Goodwill or Salvation Army or a consignment store in your town, especially with costumes, those costumes are only worn once, twice, and so they're going to be in great shape and deeply discounted. And you can often find secondhand decor in these stores as well. So that's kind of a fun way to jazz up your home for Halloween on a budget.
Daphne Gray, KSAT 12 News.
Here we go again. Every year, it's always something like that.
What are you saying?
All right. So
it's always a shortage.
On the Halloween theme,
Yeah.
I've already carved one pumpkin. Are we placing bets whether it lasts until Halloween or just gets all nasty in this heat?
We need some colder temperatures. And then the squirrels get at it too and nibble it. You know what the squirrels have been doing to me and my neighbors?
They do all the things. What is it?
Oh, this is the worst.
Not splooting.
No, they're not. Well, they do enjoy themselves and sploot, but clearly my neighbor's dogs aren't doing their jobs also. They will come and they'll chew out the cushioning in my furniture outside.
Oh, no.
And they bring it up into their nests, and then it falls and falls and falls all over the place. I'm picking up this like synthetic like cotton stuff all the time, and it's squirrels, dude. Don't get me started. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So there's always a shortage whenever a holiday comes around. So mark my words, the pumpkin shortage starting in early November. We're going to talk about the pumpkin shortage. I don't know if it's manufactured or what, but.
Wow. So see, Ernie, I tried to get us off this subject to talk about something else. He didn't take the bait.
I see what you did.
He went right back to where he started.
Can't get me that easily.
Not today, at least.
Not today, no.
Right.
Ernie's here.
Thank
All
you,
right.
yes.
So take a look at this. Remember I was talking about the morning that's under 60 degrees. We're still yearning for that morning, our first sub 60 degree morning. Well, Wednesday is October 22nd, and we're predicting 63. There's about a 10 to 20% chance we could actually dip into the upper 50s. Significance of that is the latest sub 60 degree morning on record is October 22nd. We're going to make a run at that record. The coolest we've been yet is 62 degrees. We haven't even hit the upper 50s yet. On average, we do that by September 26th. Tomorrow, a cool front hits, but it's just going to drop the humidity around noonish. Unfortunately, no rain chances from that front and not a big temperature change. Rain chances, though, do return starting Friday afternoon through Friday night and on into Saturday morning as well. Right now, that's a 30 to 40% chance, and, well, I'm really leaning closer to 40% Friday evening and Friday night. Right now, the main storm track is across the northern part of the nation. That's where we have the disturbances, but there's one that's just swirling out over the Pacific. This is its own cutoff upper level low, meaning it's cut off from the main steering flow or push in the atmosphere. And our upper level high is going to break down, and that means this will have an open door to move into parts of Texas, especially North Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas as well. But I do think we'll get in on some of the rainfall action from that. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to get it. Not everybody will have it in their neighborhood, in their backyard, but there could be some decent little bullseyes of rain, at least some we haven't seen in quite some time. Not enough to be drought denting or drought busting necessarily, but we really need to boost that aquifer. It is extremely low. It's almost 37 feet below average, 37 and a half. Anyway, dew points right now near 60, but they're going to rise overnight tonight. So notice how the dew points are back to 70 overnight tonight. So really sticky outside, but then that cool front drops in, and around to slightly after the noon hour, we'll have lower humidity and much drier air for tomorrow afternoon and all of Wednesday. You won't notice that stickiness and mugginess in the air. Subtle taste of fall, un amuse-bouche of fall. I only say that word because I learned it on Top Chef years ago, and it just sounds so fancy, un amuse-bouche. All right, an appetizer,
Wow.
70 degrees.
You gotta say it with that face too.
I can pinky up with my clicker when I say it. An amuse-bouche.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I'm here all week. For better or for worse. 70 in the morning, 82 at noon, 88 the high temperature tomorrow, and near 90 again, you know, give or take a few degrees, 85 Kerrville. By Friday into Saturday, we're really hoping for some of that rain. I know the timing may not be perfect for football, but I do think we could get in on some shower activity, so check back in for the updates.
All right, Adam, thank you.
For the main course.
Now I'm hungry. Seriously. Okay.
We'll be right back.
And welcome back, everybody. Coming up at 7 o'clock, you can watch KSAT Sports Now, streaming on KSAT Plus. Coming up on tonight's show, we've got a lot to talk about, including the Spurs as they get ready for their regular season opener at the Dallas Mavericks. But the big headline today going into this is, how tall is Victor Wembanyama? Is he 7'4"? Some in the league say he's 7'5". Vic was asked that today about his height, and I'll tell you what, it's kind of boring to him. He really doesn't care for that type of talk, so you don't want to miss it. It is pretty interesting to hear his take on how tall is he. Plus, we're talking about the Cowboys cruising over the Commanders, and we've also got your best of big game coverage from last week. We got some sensational plays to choose from. We're also talking a brand new 12's Top 12 for Class 6A, 5A, and Sub 5A. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and of course, SAFC's final chance to make the postseason. We will be right back after the break.
Well, that is all our time here on the news at 6. The first with this new team here at 6 o'clock. We did
Okay,
it.
we survived it. Thank you, Myra. All right. They'll have me back at 10 with Stephanie. I hope to see you then on the night beat.
Have a good night.